first thing I've noticed is that Fan went with the damage pot and Schweetz did not. Which really means, in my eyes, Schweetz needs to be passive early on. Which so far it looks like she is. Fan might kill her right now. No, he didn't. But yeah, the first thing I noticed is with Thanatos with damage pot, when you get damage pot in Joust, it usually means that you want to go for that kill early. If not, you waste that 450 gold.
Yeah, that seems to be a tough one. I'm not really sure why anybody would want to go for the damage pot. I cannot beat the lack of gold in the beginning, especially in a 1v1 where you're not going to have a lot of opportunity to take out the minions if your opponent is aggressive. Spending that 450 or whatever, that 150 for the pot is a little expensive in my opinion.
I agree. Like my thing is, I think for mages it works a little better. I think for like Hebo, if you get the damage pot, it makes it so you cannot fight him early on. Hebo is a common ban in Joust anyways, but usually in my case, like Hebo with blue pot means you're going to win early game. And I also kind of agree with you with the amount of money it costs, but right now with Fan, he's strictly going early now anyways. As a Thanatos, he should realize that AO is going to beat him late game. Yeah. He's going to beat him around that, I'm going to say that level like 15 to 20. AO should be able to beat him, especially once AO gets his attack damage buffs, you know, the 2 rings and shit like that. Fan really can't do much. You know, he has a silence, but if AO has dragons before he silences, there's nothing much he can do.
And it seems that Antrocity is fully aware of that situation as well, because he's spending the opening minutes of this match taking out as many of the buff camps as he can, gaining that early experience lead over Fly, and trying to make sure that he beats her to the punch when he starts to fall.
Definitely. And the first thing you can tell why... How do you know Zan's going to go really aggressive early? First thing I see is he has attack speed, which in most cases you say, why get attack speed? Especially on a Thanatos, because your main damage early game is, you know, death sights. Thanatos is live or die on death sights. But he's trying to be able to trade with her even if he misses that death sight. He's trying to be able to, if he silences, hits his 2, his lifesteal and his attack speed will be just as good as AO's. Which right now it's working. You can tell he has a full... He's quite a lot ahead. He's almost 1,000 ahead right now. And right there, Schweetz just got out of position. When you're facing Thanatos, you don't want to be close to him, ever. If you get close to him, he's going to death sight you and you will die. Now, you see, people would say, as an AO, how do you not get close to him? One thing I would do if I was Schweetz is not go more of the attack speed route, go the magical damage route. Like you see people like Dibios does that solo lane. I even do that solo lane. It makes it so you're playing like a mage, and Thanatos' weakness is against mages because, of course, late game when you get bursted as Thanatos, there's really not much you can do, knowing the fact that all of your abilities cost you health.
Exactly, I agree completely, and it does seem that Thanatos is trying to take that early. Tower gone already. He's just by time taking out those minions. It doesn't seem like he's worried so much about going after Schweitz, but he is taking care of it.
Definitely. Which also, he has a three level advantage. No offense to Sly, but here I can tell she's new to this character. You can kind of tell just by how she the 2 is not used. She doesn't use her 2 that effectively. And one thing you do as an AO against a Thanatos, in my experience, is you wait for your dragons, like I've said before. You either pop your dragons before he silences, or you pop them you try to survive until his silence is worn out. And she seems like she's doing it right in between. She's trying to pop them after he silences, which you don't want to do that against Thanatos because he can death sight you. He has that attack speed buff. And if you're trying to run away as AO, Thanatos can just ult and kill you after you're out of teleport. Here, Zan looks like he's taking that mana buff, which is kind of, for me, it's kind of weird.
Reincarnation is a wonderful. getting that experience, getting that early lead. And there is the early surrender from Schweetz. This is going to be a loss 4-0. There was really only a 2,000 experience difference and 2,000 gold difference, right about the same, 2,400 versus 2,100 between them. So the distance wasn't all that great. But with 4 deaths early game, I guess that Sly decided that she was not ready for that matchup. Ao Kwong, hard to play for anybody, especially against an early game Thanatos that's getting the lead.
The big thing there, though, is if you want some ending game things to notice, how dominant Zan actually was in this game. Yeah, the gold's only 2K, but first of all, the damage numbers. He's up almost 3,000 damage, and he only has 3,000 damage. And I think that's, like I said, Sly is new to me, and you know Sly. She's new to that assassin-based god. She likes the mages. That's why I was thinking in my head, like I said earlier, she should go the mage route. But also, another thing is, Sly has already 2 items, and Thanatos only has 1.5. Think of what would Zan do if he got, I don't know, maybe another attack speed-based item, so you can actually trade against AO. Because, like I said, Thanatos is silence. After your silence, then in your death sight, if you miss your death sight, AO will catch up to Than and he will kill her. But what Zan thought, which I thought was genius, is that I don't know what Zan's going to go after this. I'm guessing, like I told you, attack speed. Because right when you silence, you can attack speed AO down. And at that point, knowing there are only 2 weapons in, level 11, level 8, Thanatos would beat her even in an attack speed contest, in an auto attack contest. So really, I don't think it was the worst matchup for AO. You know, AO, like I said, last that 20 minutes, you're gonna win you're gonna win that lane. But I don't know if Schweetz has had the confidence in herself that she could actually stay at least relatively even. I think 2,000 is not so great that you're gonna automatically lose. I don't know if that's just a confidence thing, but Zan is an assassin guy. You know, I was on a team with him. He played that jungle role for me, so I know he knows how to play assassin. So is it kind of an unfair matchup? Absolutely. But I mean, I think for what happened, Sly, I mean, she gave it her best shot.
I think as far as talking about Sly having insecurity, I think that knowing her as well as we do, we know that there are certain situations where Sly can get that way, but she also doesn't realize how good she is sometimes. And I think this was just a case of an experienced Thanatos taking advantage of an inexperienced Ao Kwong, and that's really all it was. On another god, perhaps, I think Sly would have settled back, waited. She would know to get to the late game, and she would have taken advantage of that. But I think she just weighed the chances that she had and realized, look, I'm already way down here in kills. You know, and maybe it's time to let this one go. She wants a do-over. She's calling for another match, and I'm pretty sure she's not going to choose Ao Kwong this time.
I agree. I'm pretty excited for this match. Knowing how, like I said, how we know Schweetz and Zan, they're not that far in skill level, so I want to see Sly pick one of her mages, event one of Zan's assassins. I think that'd be great. Knowing, in my experience, Joust, those are the 2 main roles you want to pick. Either go that hyper carry mage or go that hyper carry assassin.
Right, agreed. And it should be noted that this was a random pick Joust, I believe. So she really didn't have any choice in the matter of who she took. But you know, I think that this next match is probably going to prove more engaging if she gets to choose who her god's going to be.
Yeah, I agree. I think that should be the next thing we should do. I think maybe 2 bans each. Sly could ban out some of Zan's better assassins, while Zan can do the same if you're agreeing with that, Van.
And I do exactly. I love picks and bans at any point in time, any type of game, because if you know your opponent well enough, you can put them in a position where they have to try harder, or maybe put them in a position where they don't know that god, such as where Sly was with Ao Kwong. So yes, I do love picks and bans because it just adds a whole nother level, like I'm going to game you this way.
Exactly. And that makes it better. You can win strictly off picks and bans. Me and you, well, I've played in a competitive team, and you know experience, you're trying to start one up. So like we both know the experience. Like picks and bans are huge in the aspect of you can win or lose a game in Conquest, and I think Joust is the exact same way.
Oh yeah, I mean, my god pool right now is very small, and when I am on a team, my opponents in the clan, they tend to know who to take out of my hands. You know, ban them from me, and then I'm sitting there going, "What about you, George?" You know, so yeah, picks and bans definitely adds a level to the game where the best players get to be on top of their game. So why don't we get back with Antrocity and Sly and see where they're at for this second game, and we'll pick up the recording from there.
I completely agree.